So I became the station's first personality and weatherman, and I think I was the first voice on the air because I also did all the station breaks.
Ted Bush was in St. Louis doing drama at an educational radio station when KMEG General Manager Bob Donovan brought him and his wife Dale to Sioux City just weeks before the station went on the air. But they could not afford a house.
Bob had a very good friend who happened to have a couple of apartments over his funeral parlor. So we went to Jim Rutledge, to his funeral parlor, and he had a wonderful 2-bedroom apartment up there, and that's where we stayed.
Bush was also the station's first weathercaster, working on a magnetic board similar to the one seen here being used by Ken Lawson. Bush created a character called Tempe, the tri-state weather watcher, who appeared on the map to tell kids what they should wear to school.
So if it was going to be rainy, we had him in a rain suit. If it was going to be sunny, we had him in shorts and a T-shirt with sunglasses.
Bush also hosted KMEG's version of the popular Dialing for Dollars show that was sweeping the nation.
We hooked up a vacuum cleaner hose to a tub full of ping pong balls, and it would direct me to a phone book, whether it was going to be, Sioux City, South Sioux City, or whatever. And then I would pick a number out of a phone book and try to call somebody. And if they were watching the station, they had a chance to win a prize.
During the late 60s, the big morning television show was Captain Kangaroo on CBS.
Well, it comes from a Greek word, the name tree tells us, and the Greek word meaning to be watchful.
Bush wanted to take a 5-minute window before Captain Kangaroo and turn it into something more than an events calendar, a unique version of an interview show.
How about if I create this character, this 5-year-old female girl, called Clementine. And the whole idea was a 5-year-old girl could ask any question and the people would answer it.
Personalities included the mayor, the fire chief, and others who would get caught off guard by the plucky Clementine.
Well, we caught almost everybody off guard because when they would first come in, they'd start talking to me, and then Clementine would interrupt us. So I'd be talking to, like to you, Larry, and we're having this wonderful conversation, and all of a sudden, Clementine would pop up and say, "Damn it, Larry, what's going on? Whatever." And all of a sudden, the person was talking to my hand.
The versatile Bush also borrowed a shroud from the funeral home and transformed himself into Dr. X when hosting Friday Night Frights on KMEG.
My blood now flows through your veins.
Always managing to make a mess out of a magic formula or spell.
And then I would always go, whoops, and then I go back to the movie, and I would always go,
After a few short years in Sioux City and Milwaukee, Bush ended up as part of the creative marketing team at Procter & Gamble in Cincinnati, producing some of the company's most famous commercials.
Ladies, you can't squeeze the Charmin.
But this isn't Charmin, Mr. Whipple. This is new Charmin.
He's beautiful.
Why, thank you.
Oh, Rosie, I got my baby's first pictures. Look.
Oh, cute. The baby's first bill.
Quick, Rosie, my pictures.
Relax. Bounty's so fast it gets filled before they get away.
In the late 70s, he moved to New York to open the East Coast office of Procter & Gamble Productions, responsible for making P&G's most famous soap operas.
And now, the continuing story of Another World.
Another World? Search for tomorrow. And As the World Turns. While he would go on to do bigger and better things, Bush still has fond memories of the people who became family during his early years at KMEG 14.
There were a lot of young folks that were all there trying to figure out how to make things work and to do the best we could for Sioux City.